Two big cats, one jungle. At least Jacksonville finally started using James Robinson properly, but everything else about this offense was just kind of flat. Trevor Lawrence is playing competently, but on this team, he needs to be playing like Peyton Manning to win a game, and he just isn't at that point yet. Can everybody just accept that Joe Burrow is really good now? Like, really, really good? A comeback win is what the Bengals deserve. While I still think the Bengals and Browns are the top of the division, the Bengals could make it close by adding a little bit of chaos to an already stacked division. Oh my god, the Jets have won a football game. Sure, the Titans didn't have either their elite wide receivers. Sure, it was only because the Titans missed a last-second field goal. But the thing is, the Jets had no right to be in this game, so the Titans, in my opinion, deserve this loss. Derrick Henry is still great, obviously, and Ryan Tannehill is a good game manager, but that defense, man, allowing Zach Wilson to look like a good quarterback. Corey Davis finally seems to be emerging as a true number one receiver, and for Titans, I mean, they could lose another 8 games, and I still wouldn't be fully convinced that they won't win their division.
The Bears beating their punching bag of a divisional rival since 1920. Watch as we witness the only franchise more pathetic than the Windy City, the Motor City. Jared Goff continued to play like Jared Goff, that being okay. On the other side of the field is the kid, Justin Fields, a young lad brimming with potential. He didn't play great, but hey, he did better than last week, but let's be real. This offense runs through David Montgomery. Will the Bears go over 500 next week? Find out next time on The Bears. This game was like the battle of the disappointments. Both these teams had such high hopes going into the season, but 4 weeks in and they both have 1 win each. Now for the Colts, injuries could take most of the blame. Kwity Paye, Quentin Nelson, and not to mention the on and off health of Carson Wentz. Also remember, this team has had a rough schedule, and they still got the 49ers, Bucks, Raiders, Cardinals, Derrick Henry, Titans, and the Ravens. And for Dolphins, yeah, there really isn't an excuse for them. I don't think a healthy Tua would fix this team that much. The Browns are good, and it's very, very boring. Like, for real, what do you want me to say when the Browns beat the Vikings 7-14? I mean, we already know they're good. Plus, I don't even think you guys realize that this isn't even Browns-Vikings. This is Browns-Texans from Week 2. That's how forgettable this game was. Is making fun of the Falcons' ability to choke even funny when it happens more often than just getting blown out? The answer is yes. It's always funny. Not only did they choke away a lead, they did it to Washington, a team led by Taylor Heinicke, also known as not Ryan Fitzpatrick, so who cares? I think the problem is Matt Ryan. Not because he's bad, but because I think the man is just cursed. Yeah, the Bills are really good. It's weird that nobody's really talking about this team considering they're playing like Super Bowl contenders. Obviously, the offense is great, but what's really surprised me is that defense. It's been elite all season. I think most people aren't talking about them because they've had a mostly weak schedule, and the wheel test for them came next week against the Chiefs. Sorry, but what's going on with the Saints? They've gone from beating the Packers to losing to the Giants. Is Daniel Jones good now? Like, genuinely, he's putting up decent stats, but what I want to see from him is more consistency in the pocket. We know he can scramble, we know he can make big plays, but can he be the true franchise QB New York wants from him? Well, if he keeps playing like this, then who knows, he could be a Pro Bowler. Well, not a Pro Bowler, but maybe he'll stop getting crapped on Twitter every week by his own fan base. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to allow his team to lose 3 games in a row. Terrible defense be damned. Him and Tyreek Hill were playing the way you'd expect them to. This game was way closer than it should have been. Jalen Hurts can throw for almost 400 yards and being the leading rusher on his team, but if the defense is allowing 6 touchdowns, there isn't really much he can do. Man, Eagles fans are down bad. Not only is their football team bad, but they still live in Philadelphia. It's really a lose-lose situation for them. Hey Panthers fans, next time before you walk around calling your defense elite and the second coming of the 2000 Ravens, can you first beat a good offense before doing that? Dak Prescott carved you guys up. Ezekiel Elliott was playing like a good running back, which is rare for him considering he isn't. Trayvon Diggs is the playmaker the Cowboys needed to make that awful defense play well enough to not get in the way of the amazing offense. But these teams are playing way better than they should be. Which, by the way, really sucks for me. How am I supposed to make fun of them if they're good now? Guys, the craziest thing just happened. Jimmy Garoppolo got injured. I know, who could have predicted that? Trey Lance came in and actually played well enough, 200 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and the true mark of a good rookie quarterback performance, no interceptions. Deebo Samuel is also a beast, by the way, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns, because screw your fantasy teams. Seahawks are barely able to grab a win, but I'm not convinced either of these teams will be anywhere close to winning their division. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still pretty convinced that the NFC West runs through the Rams and the Cardinals. Speaking of the Rams and the Cardinals, Jesus Christ, this was a punch in the mouth for LA fans. Matthew Stafford was inconsistent with his passing throughout the game. They had a solid first quarter, but after that, the offense just kind of stalled out. Unlike Kyler Murray and the offense, who are the only undefeated team left in the league. This year could be the year for them, but then again, we said that last season, and they kind of fell off halfway through. But with that better defense, they may be better off this time around. It finally happened. For the first time since before I was born, I can finally say it. I've been waiting for so long to say that the Steelers are officially bad. I'm going to savor this moment. Big Ben isn't even a shell of his former self. The shell has been fully disintegrated into the ground till it's a fine powder by erosion. Najee Harris isn't too far behind him. He's playing like he doesn't have an offensive line, and that's because he doesn't. Aaron Rodgers hasn't regressed at all. The man is still throwing the ball with surgical precision. Congrats, Dolphins. Aaron Rodgers is going to be your future quarterback next year. Congratulations. The Broncos just went from playing Kirby's Dreamland to playing goddamn Dark Souls. That offense could not get off the ground with either quarterback. The rushing game was pretty good. Too bad Denver hit the panic button halfway through the game and stuck to the pass. This Ravens defense is injured, but the Broncos made them look elite. That pass rush is looking like something with Calais Campbell, Tyus Bowser, Odafe Oweh, Justin Madubuike, and Justin Houston. The secondary did a solid job as well, not laying up too many big plays. Denver's defense did play better than their offense, but you can't stop all the rushes you want, but the Ravens are continuing to prove something this season. Lamar doesn't need the rush attack. He can beat with his arm just fine. NFL fans like to say they respect and enjoy the on-field product more than the surrounding drama. But if we're being real with ourselves, what we truly care about are narratives, stories of revenge, upsets, the crowning of new kings. All these time-honored storylines can turn a meaningless and boring game into one that will be considered a landmark game in NFL history. Sure, Brady didn't play great, and if it wasn't for a missed field goal, this game would have been very different, but that doesn't matter, because in the story between Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, the win will always go to Tom. What's the point of having a dome on your stadium if you're still susceptible to weather delays? The Chargers win and prove they deserve to be at the top of an already stacked AFC West. The Raiders, on the other hand, struggled. However, I wouldn't worry about it too much. This is going to be a fun division all year round, and Jesus Christ, Jon Gruden got fired. Well, that's interesting. This was a weird game. Russell Wilson's out for most of the season, so Seattle's kind of screwed considering he is the only thing the franchise has had going for the past half-decade. The Rams bounced back after a tough Arizona win, and Arizona lost, and they look to be back on track to a potential Super Bowl. Oi, mate, you want to watch a wee little bit of the footy? England, the land with such great food and such beautiful women, they all became sailors. Luckily for them, they get to witness America's greatest export, Jets football. Kyle Pitts and the Falcons' offense were colonizing all over the field. The Jets were so bad, Atlanta's bad offense in the second half and always terrible defense still wasn't enough to allow them to come back. The offense was drier than a crumpet and as creative as a toast sandwich. God save that team. Guys, I have a hot take. I think both these teams are bad. So, have you guys ever seen a game that has had such little impact on the greater NFL landscape that you just kind of sigh and wonder, why is this on my television screen? And then get real sad because Dan Campbell is sad? Alright, it's time to play my favorite game. It's called Which Team is Good? On one hand, there's the Panthers, led by a great defense and offense that more than not usually gets the job done. But their opponent, I'm pretty sure, are bad, but wait, they beat Carolina, so maybe that makes them good if they beat a good team. But are the Panthers even good in the first place? Look, listen, I'm watching football. I shouldn't have to think. So my thoughts on these two teams is that they both will have their fans think they're all right, only for them to not make the playoffs and be disappointed. Man, the Saints are weird. Like, they bounce between losing to the Giants to winning against good teams, but Washington isn't really a good team. It's just, it's weird. I don't know, man. I think Washington's bad. Saints are okay, but probably won't make the playoffs. Tennessee prepared the ritual, the bi-yearly smashing of what some people used to consider divisional rivals in the Jacksonville Jaguars. They showed no mercy to their opponent. The Jaguars fans came into the game for the same reason Romans flooded the Coliseum, for blood. This time they were beaten and bruised the same way they are every year, by way of Derrick Henry. He treated his opponent the same way Alabama treats Southern Miss. 130 yards and 3 touchdowns are the final stats for him. So overall, bit of a slow game for Derrick Henry. Sad year for the Dolphins. Like, at least in 2019, nobody expected them to win. This year, people actually had high expectations for them. And so far, they've disappointed greatly. And it's continued against their neighbors to the north in the Bucks. Tom Brady is playing like an MVP candidate so far. I'm not sure if it's just stat padding, but the dude just won't stop throwing touchdowns. The defense has regressed a bit, but that doesn't really matter when you're scoring 40 points a game. Every week there's that one game where something unbelievably stupid happens, and it gives content creators like me endless jokes to make. This is one of those games. Sure, it was filled with amazing offenses from two of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the league, but no one will remember that when both teams combined for 5 missed field goals deep into the fourth and in overtime. It was like neither one of them actually wanted to win before Mason Crosby accidentally hit a field goal. Davante Adams probably feels great about his amazing performance being overshadowed by his kicker's terrible performances. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my favorite game show. It's called Are They Good? The only game show that proudly causes anxiety to its contestants. Our man the hour and contestant is David, an accountant from Wyoming. David, how are you feeling? I'm feeling pretty good, Pat. Haha, shut up. Now, this first question is for $5. The Buffalo Bills, are they good? Yes, Pat. Correct. $5 for you. Now, it's time for our next question. For $1 billion, are the Broncos good, or are they bad? Oh god, that's a tough question. Are they good? Maybe. Does that mean I win money? Haha. Next question. Now, I framed you for murder of 5 people, and your answer directly depends on whether or not you are ruled guilty, or you get to walk away an innocent man. Now, for your freedom, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are they good, or are they bad? Screw that. I think I have a better shot if I just won for it. He's getting away! Haha, he's died. Well, that's it for today on Are They Good? Da Bears, actually playing well and beating a good opponent since 1920. Wait, what, really? Are they a decent team now? Because that would really mess up with my brand. Watch as Justin Fields does just enough to be carried by a defense finally playing to their potential. Don't mind the Raiders, just casually watch and enjoy their yearly collapse. Derek Carr goes back to playing like Derek Carr, they no longer have a head coach, and now Las Vegas looks like they may have been overhyped the first 3 weeks of the season. Cause screw defense, am I right? Everyone scores a touchdown, everyone gets fantasy points. Baker and Herbert are 2 men who know their way around a shootout even if Baker can't win one to save his life. Austin Eckler and Nick Chubb are 2 top 5 rushers, and they showed it. Eckler was so good, he tried to eat out the clock and still ended up getting a touchdown. This game really did just come down to whoever had the ball at the end, and that just so happened to be the LA Chargers, so they win. The new NFL, where offense is everything and defense just gets in the way of more offense. Now watch as Austin Eckler does some more offense. God, this game sucked, especially for Giants fans. Daniel Jones, Kenny Golladay, and Barkley all injured for what? A game everyone already knew the outcome? I mean, come on, the Cowboys are looking pretty good so far, although I do want to see them win against more quality opponents. That's not really up to them, that's more their schedule, but Dak is looking pretty dang good so far. Cardinals are good. Okay, are we done? Can I move on to the next game? No? I gotta continue? Okay, well, I'll say a little bit more. The 49ers may not be as Super Bowl contenders we thought they were going to be. They've lost their first 2 divisional games pretty convincingly, and Trey Lance has played all right. But if a rookie quarterback is not what this offense needed if they want to win, like, right now, that would be fine if the defense hadn't taken a massive step down. So the Bills are kings of the AFC now, I guess. They have one thing that the Chiefs and Ravens, and I guess also the Chargers, don't, and that's an actually decent defense. It's top 5, and they've been playing like Super Bowl winners. I mean, I really can't see any team beating them except for maybe the Rams or maybe the Bucks. Who knows? We'll have to see. You thought we were going to lose to the Colts? Fools! Being down 16 points with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter literally means nothing when you have Lamar Jackson. 500 yards, the most accurate game with 40 pass attempts in league history. Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews are top 10 pass catchers. Our rush game was bad thanks to a great D-line on the Colts, but again, it doesn't matter when you are playing Lamar Jackson. MVP chants fill the stadium, but he has transcended past those meaningless awards and into the realm of the football gods. Now let's talk about that defense. It did enough. Sure, Patrick Queen, Tavon Young, and Anthony Averett executed social distancing with the pass catchers on the Colts, but the D-line has been stepping up in big moments. I think it's impossible to waste the clock against Baltimore now. Oweh has been amazing so far, and Calais Campbell single-handedly blocked out the stunt and the field goal. So can we say Super Bowl? Maybe? Maybe? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our double week power rankings. As always, Jaguars and Jets stay at the bottom. Giants and Texans switch spots. The Lions drop down after going 0-5. Falcons are the same. Dolphins with a big step down. Washington steps down. Vikings take a couple steps down, but the Bears they're moving up, and so are the Eagles. Saints move down. Patriots move up 2 slots. Broncos, Panthers, and Raiders. Raiders with the poopy game of the week, you can tell because I marked it in brown. They all go down quite a bit. Colts go up a couple after that spirited game against the Ravens. Seahawks go down 1. 49ers go down a lot. Steelers and Bengals. Bengals being really the biggest improvement in the power rankings these past 2 weeks. Cowboys still just barely out of the top 10 because I think the Chiefs are still better than them, but the Titans are in the top 10, and so are the Packers, who are usually around the 8-7-6 range. Browns move down after the loss to the Chargers. Chargers move up after beating the Browns, and did they beat the Chiefs week 4? I don't know who they beat week 4. But Cardinals move into the top 5, where they are met by the Ravens, Bucks, and Rams all going down, even though they all, I think, went the Rams went 1-1, but the other 2 went 2-0. Well, why did they move down? Because the Bills. I think they're officially the best team in the league. I think they have the best defense through 5 weeks, and they also have Josh Allen. So yeah, good luck, other 31 teams.